Good morning, everyone. My name is Satya. I will be in charge of this training. I cordially invite you all to this AWS Associate Level training. We are on day 11. Today will be a unique class day because we will only performing the lab exercises. So the lab exercises that we did not finish during the previous sessions will be completed today. So the agenda for today's class is displayed on your screen. So we will begin with auto scaling, the first lab exercise. So what is all about auto scaling? EC2 auto scaling helps you maintain application availability and lets you automatically add or remove the EC2 instances by using scaling policies that we define. So what is the benefit? The overall benefit of auto-scaling is that it eliminates the need to respond manually whenever the real-time traffic, the web traffic comes up. So at that point of time, we need not to manually go ahead, create a new EC2 instance, manage the web traffic. Instead, we can automatically create a flow. So with that, whenever there is virtual machine not accessible or having more load on it, new virtual machines automatically that gets created. So this is what we are going to perform to explore whatever we learned during the theoretical class that we are going to explore through the lab exercise. So who will be performing this lab exercise side by side along with me? Anyone?
I can do it, sir.
All right, Shri. Okay. So these are all the steps that we are going to perform. The slide is there on your screen. First, we will create one Linux EC2 instance. We will add security port number 22 for SSH, port number 80 for HTTP. We will add a bootstrap script during the creation of EC2. Attach this running EC2 instance into to the auto scaling group. We will provide additional details of what should be the minimum desired capacity, maximum capacity of EC2 instance that should be available all the time. We will launch the configuration and do the test. All right. So let me take you to my AWS Management Console. Okay. So this is my AWS Management Console. I will be creating one EC2 instance. So this will be a Linux-based EC2 instance. So I'm creating one new Linux-based EC2 instance. I'll call this maybe auto scaling. The operating system will be Amazon Linux. For our lab, this is what I'll be selecting. Key pair, yes, let me create a new key pair. It'll be a PPK. I'll be enabling HTTP traffic apart from SSH. So these are all the two firewall rule that will be added. And all other settings will be default. We will be adding a bootstrap script to create a web page. So whenever a new virtual machine is getting created, a bootstrap script will be added. Okay, I will share this script in the chat so that you can copy paste while you are performing the lab. So are you ready, Shri, till here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In the Bootstrap script, what we are doing, we are adding the script, the complete script. First, we will install HTTPD, that is Apache server. We will start this daemon service. We'll create one line web page. Okay, it says welcome to auto scaling and network or classic load balancer lab. So I'm launching this instance now.
Sir, whenever we are, sort of putting up a script, don't we need to enable admin mode? What we do in manually? What we do manually?
Yes, we are doing that. If you go back to the script, let me share that.
I'm in the script, sir. You can tell me.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, in this script, here, do you see this sudo before the command?
Yes, sir.
So this is like a run as administrator, what we do in Windows.
Okay.
Okay. So if you need to log in as a root user and then perform this, run this script, then you can simply say sudo -su. Then these sudo commands not required.
Okay. Understood.
Okay. All right. All right. Now we have created a virtual machine, Linux-based virtual machine. Let's see the status. Status is also passed. Okay. And this Linux virtual machine is up and running. There is no need of logging into this virtual machine. Our lab exercise is not meant for that. I will capture the public IP address. Simply open another tab in the browser. Copy this web public IP address and check for the working status of this virtual machine. That is the web server. So this is what the simple web page that we have created. Our web server is working fine along with the virtual machine that we have created.
Yes, sir. It's working for me as well.
Good. Okay, the next step is we will be creating an auto scaling group and attaching this auto scaling group to this EC2 instance. So what happens whenever there is a sudden spike in the web traffic, when more number of virtual machines are required, at that point of time, it will take the copy of this virtual machine, whatever the settings that we did. So based on that, it will create new virtual machines. So how to do that? Now we are selecting the running virtual machine. Okay, click on Actions. Click on Instance Settings and select Attach to Auto Scaling Group. So this virtual machine we are adding to this auto scaling group. So we will provide our auto scaling group name. I provided as auto scaling lab, the name. Click on Attach. Okay, maybe this name already exists. I'll call it new auto scaling lab. On my side, this name is already available because I have done the lab exercise a couple of times in the past. In your case, you should be able to go with the same name.
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay, that's good. Now let us select this auto scaling group. This is what the auto scaling you can see here on the EC2 dashboard. If you scroll down all the way, you will see the auto scaling groups. Correct? Please select this.
Sir, just a minute.
Sure. Select the auto scaling group and click on edit. Now we have three options to go with: desired capacity, minimum capacity, and the maximum capacity. Okay, so the desired capacity should be equal or greater than the minimum capacity. That means desired capacity is all the time how many virtual machines should be working. In our case, since we have created a web server, all the time how many web servers should be always up and running. That is what we need to mention. So for our lab exercise, let's take 3 web servers. 3 web servers should be always running, and this number should be greater than or equal to the minimum number of virtual machines or the web servers should be running. So the minimum capacity may be, once again, we can either set a 2 or 1 or even 3. I will go with 3. I will set both desired capacity and as well as the minimum capacity should be 3, or maybe desired capacity, we will make it 4. All right. And maximum capacity, how many virtual machines at a single time, the maximum numbers should be running. Sometimes it happens one of the virtual machine may be having some issues, it will be working slow, but that virtual machine is still working, correct? So in that case, to cater the need of the web traffic, additional web servers will be created. So likewise, sometimes the number may keep increasing, though the virtual machines are available. So maximum how many virtual machines you need to set. In my case, for this lab exercise, I will select 6. So what happens? My desired capacity is 4 numbers, and all the time, minimum 3 virtual machines should be running. The maximum, it can go up to 6. I don't want more number of virtual machines to be created or to be available. For my setup, for my requirement, this is enough. Okay. And next, we need to select the launch configuration. Launch configuration will be the same name what we have provided. Okay, in my case, I have 2 because I have already created one lab exercise. I will go with the new launch configuration that I created. And select the availability zones. Here in my region, that is North California, there are only 2 availability zones. So I'm selecting both of them. So here what we are informing this auto scaling group is, when you are creating new virtual machines, you are free to create these virtual machines in either of these 2 availability zones. The choice is yours. Wherever you want, you can go ahead and create. Suppose I make it only 1, then all my next upcoming virtual machines will be created only in this availability zone. I don't want that thing to happen. Why? The main purpose of this auto scaling is to manage the disaster recovery. Suppose the availability zone A, where I have all my virtual machines running, if there is a technical snag in that availability zone itself, what happens? So any number of virtual machines that are creating there, all the VMs will have the same issues, right? So to overcome that, I will have a backup. So instead of keeping all the VMs in one availability zone, I will spread it across different availability zones that are available. But please remember, it should be in the same region. So that's it. We have selected all the default settings which is required. And we'll go ahead, click on update. Now it is getting updated. The capacity is desired capacity is 4. So while it is getting created, let's check. I'll refresh. So let me come back to my EC2 dashboard. Now you can see number of EC2 instances running is 3. Now we have totally 4 virtual machines running. This is the default virtual machine what I created, auto scaling VM. Apart from that, 3 more virtual machines came up. Do you see that? So all the 3 virtual machines are still in the initializing stage. It is getting created. So this is what we have set in our auto scaling group, informing that desired capacity, minimum 4 virtual machines should be always available. So as per our settings, 4 virtual machines are ready. Okay, now all the 4 desired virtual machines are up and running. Now, this is the default VM that I created. So with this, I have set up additional 3 more virtual machines or web server to spin off. So as and when it is needed. So you can see here, these virtual machines are created in different availability zones, correct? So even if there is any issues with the specific availability zone itself, we have a backup availability zone. There are 2 virtual machines are spread across 2 availability zones. Now, we have already tested, we have taken the public IP address of the original virtual machine, what we have created. We have tested that web server. So it is working fine. Now, since the other virtual machines also should be the same replica, let us check the public IP address of other virtual machines. So I'm selecting one of the virtual machines. I will open in another tab. I'll check. Yes, it is working and it is fetching the same page. But this page is getting fetched from this particular virtual machine, and individual web servers will fetch the same web page because we have provided the same content. Remember, we provided in the bootstrap, correct? So all the 4 virtual machines are up and running. Correct? All right, now, as per the setting, what we did, the desired capacity of these virtual machines are maintaining 4 numbers. Now, let us say for some reason, this virtual machine, one of the virtual machine is gone defective or it stopped, correct? I will stop maybe 1 or 2 virtual machines. I just initiated for stopping one of the virtual machine. Minimum 3 numbers, what we have set. So minimum 3 virtual machines are running. There will not be any change here. So in the meanwhile, let me select 1 more virtual machine. Now the first virtual machine is stopped. Minimum number of virtual machines to be running, we have set 3 numbers. So 3 numbers are fine, it is working. I will go ahead and stop or terminate another instance. Now our minimum requirement is 3. The desired capacity is 4. Minimum should be 3 numbers running, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Now let us see what happens. So one server is stopped, one virtual machine is terminated. Now you can see another new virtual machine started coming up. So do you see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Same with me as well.
Yes. The reason being, we have set a configuration setting. Minimum desired capacity is 4 numbers. 4 virtual machines should be up and running, and at least minimum 3 should be working among them. So now 3 virtual machines are working. One of them is in stopped state. So this stopped state virtual machine can be restarted. So let me do one thing. Let me go ahead and terminate 2 virtual machines. So there will be only one virtual machine up and running. One is already in stopped state. So in the backend, the health check is keep happening. So the moment it gets notified, it will spin off few more virtual machines as per the required desired limit. Okay, now we can see 3 virtual machines are terminated and one is in stopped state. Only one virtual machine is running. So this capacity is not sufficient for my setup to manage the web traffic, correct? If everyone is accessing this web page, users will have that latency or web page not accessible issue. So to overcome that, our auto scaling will immediately create new virtual machines and that will be made available. So now you can see on my side, I have set the desired capacity is 4, minimum 4 virtual machines should be up and running all the time. So that is how 2 virtual machines are getting initialized. It is getting created. 2 are already in place. It is in working status. So this is all about auto scaling. So let's go ahead and remove these lab exercises, the resources what we have created. So I have a question here. Earlier, when we used to terminate the EC2 instances, when we don't want the resources, we used to simply go ahead and terminate, right? So now, as and when we are keep terminating the instance, new instances are coming up. So how to get rid of that? So does it mean, can we really terminate these instances, remove all the resources? Because as and when we are deleting, new resources are keep coming back, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, of course we can do that. So to do that, in the EC2 dashboard, please scroll down all the way, go to auto scaling groups, select the auto scaling group that you have created, click on delete. Give the confirmation, click on delete. So the moment you delete the auto scaling group, what happens? All the virtual machines, what we have created, that will start getting decommissioned. Do you see that? The status, everything got changed. all the virtual machines are they are shutting down. So we need not to go and delete these virtual machines manually, except the one what we have initially created. So of course, that virtual machine we already terminated. So remaining virtual machines automatically gets terminated. So with this, we have reached at the end of auto scaling lab exercise. Let us conduct another lab exercise.